So we get a lot of folks asking us, when do I need to replace my bands and pouches? So let's start with the pouches. So here's a SuperSure pouch that I've been shooting since 2011, I think. And I still enjoy shooting this pouch. Now it's ragged. You can see where the balls have formed a pocket. Actually, my friend Blue Skeen, he trimmed this one a little bit. Still a great pouch. If it works well for you, don't toss it out. A lot of folks are very particular about their pouch. If you're that way, fine. Shoot a new pouch with every band set, no problem. One thing to keep a lookout for is leather pouches will oftentimes stretch in odd ways. Microfiber pouches, being a man-made material, often do not. We can see that on this particular pouch, where the pouch holes are very much elongated. And this pouch, this was a kangaroo leather pouch, and we can see that there's some variation in the way it is stretched. However, it still shoots well for me. So long and short of it, when do you replace your pouch? Whenever you feel like it. If your pouch is close to breaking, of course let it go. But if it's just stretched and it stopped stretching, you're good to keep shooting it unless you change your mind otherwise. Now the really important thing, bands. We always want to inspect our bands before we start shooting. So these two slingshots have been on my wall, my collection. Haven't shot them in a few years. So before I begin to shoot them or pull them back, I want to make sure I check them out. So one thing to look for is always start by checking the attachment at the bands and pouch. This is generally where the bands will start to wear out first. And what you're looking for are nicks or holes. So this side, I can start to see that the edge right in here is starting to get a little rough. That's where a tear will propagate. And then over on this side, I see an actual hole. So these bands are on their way out. I would retire them. Now the other place you want to double check your bands is at the attachment point. So this one has a big tear in it, and of course we're going to abandon this one right away. So this band set is shot. If I wanted to reuse the pouch, I certainly could. Another thing, all latex degrades over time, whether it's being used or not. There are live natural proteins that allow latex to do its magical, wondrous things. As such, it breaks down with age. So a couple of common adulterants are ozone. So any of your electronics that emit ozone are breaking down latex, as well as UV. So it's important, if you haven't shot your Slingshot in a while, to double check it and look for UV damage. So I can see here on this band set, it looks a little off. This is TheraBand. As I stretch it, I can see right along the edge it's fuzzy. These bands are going to tear near immediately. They're toast. Just looking at them, they look okay. I don't see any visible tears, but they just degraded over time. And actually, if I stretch it, I can pull it apart quite easy. All right, so to review. Pouches. Use them until you don't want to use them anymore, unless they're showing a possibility for breaking. Pouches, that's totally up to you. Bands. Always inspect your bands. Be sure to inspect them at the attachment point where the bands attach to the pouch, as well as the attachment point of where the bands attach to the Slingshot, and everywhere in between. Stretch them away from you. Look for any visible tears or damage. If you see damage, retire those bands. Better than a slap in the face. So, get out and shoot those slingshots. Always check out your equipment. And most importantly, have fun.